You're listening to the Troy Rollins Morning Show.
KNOW Los Angeles, California. You're tuned into the Troy Rawlings Morning Show. I am Troy Rawlings. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a great Labor Day thus far. And without further ado, let me bring these folks in here. We got on the line Alvin Richardson, Shawnee Richardson, and Alvin, what's your wife's name?
Nicole.
Nicole?
Yeah, Nicole Richardson.
And Nicole Richardson. What's going on, everybody? They are the Cadence Project, thecadenceproject.com, down in Houston, Texas, doing an amazing effort helping with the rebuild. And I guess, mainly the rebuild. They say it's the rebuild recovery. You're in the rebuild efforts now, I guess, huh?
That's right.
So, for those that don't know anything about the Cadence Project, one of the biggest things that people have been saying with everything that's going on, and one thing I love about us is just human beings, just the fact that we're so apt to get involved when it's time. You know, when everything hits the fan, when everything is real, all this white supremacy junk that was going on, and the president this and this, that, and all. But as soon as the tragedy occurs and people have to tap into their God-given humanity, you get to see what people are really about. So I'm excited about all the efforts that people are doing for real to help one another, just in the cause of humanity and love. So, first off, tell people what the Cadence Project is, because you were actually a business and doing work with businesses, ministries, and traveling around even before you started this effort.
Right. The Cadence Project is about helping people find their rhythm. My wife Nicole and I, we realized over the years we had a lot of people who would come for one of many things that we were doing. A lot of times it might have been a studio session because I'm a musician, and we would have people book time for studio sessions. But when they got here, they never really got the recording started because they would sit down and it was clear that they needed to talk just about some things about life. Or a pastor would call and say, we need some help with our music department. And what would start off as a music workshop would turn into a full weekend of ministry about just empowering their leaders. And God really just impressed on us to start the Cadence Project as a way of helping people find their rhythm. If you can find your rhythm, you can find your purpose. We want people to know that they're not out here alone. Things don't just happen to them by happenstance, but the voice of God has a cadence to it. There's a rhythm that He has for your life. There's a story that He has planned out and an order to your steps. And we just like to help people hear the voice of God, find the rhythm of His voice for their lives so they can find their purpose and what He has called for them to do. And we do that through life coaching, marital counseling, family dynamics counseling. We do consulting, we teach workshops, we help empower leaders, just helping people to find their rhythm any way that we can.
Awesome. And your sister Shawnee, for those that don't know, Shawnee Richardson is, not only does she have her own business and ministry as well, she's a phenomenal vocalist and has a great project out that we're still waiting to get here. I don't understand what's happening, but we'll figure that out.
Well, we'll definitely get that to you. I actually released an EP, so I'll have to get that over to you, Troy. But Shawnee Richardson Creative is just ministry for me. Everything that you mentioned that I do, it's the avenue to do it to help people feel less broken. And so during this time with this hurricane, there are people that are just lost and broken. And so in trying to think about what I could do, what Shawnee Richardson Creative could do, I knew that the best avenue that I could take would be to partner with my brother and get some direct help using his existing organization. So I'm just excited to be a part of what he's doing and actually being hands-on and getting some things done. That's what I'm really excited about, is actually being able to put my hands to do something physical instead of just talking about it or singing about it, but actually being the hands and feet of Jesus.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, man, you guys have been right there in the midst of everything. when the storm came, when they were talking about evacuations, when the storm came. Now, you guys didn't evacuate.
Say that again?
You guys never evacuated. Is that correct? Like,
no. That's one of the things that's been so amazing about all of this is that both Shawnee and my family, we were in places that we were blessed not to have flooding that was so bad that we had to evacuate. We didn't lose our homes. Our things didn't get wet. And we were very thankful and really grateful for that. But right after you kind of take a deep breath and you're grateful for what you didn't lose, your mind immediately goes to the fact that we have friends who instantly were homeless overnight. They lost everything all in an instant. It happened so fast, and it just started to tug at our hearts. My wife and I have friends that we were checking in on the entire time. Shawnee has friends that she was checking in on the entire time. And we just immediately started thinking, what can we do to help? And then from around the country, we had folks who were always checking in on us saying, hey, what's going on? Are you guys okay? And that moved us to say, you know what? We are okay, but we could use your help helping our community, helping our friends, helping families, just to put it all back together.
Yes.
And so that's really what motivated us to do what we're doing now. We're thankful that we didn't have to be evacuated, but we realized that grace that we were afforded was just not for us to sit back and breathe a sigh of relief, but we've been put in a position of strength, and now we want to use that strength to serve somebody else.
That's awesome. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to play a song real quick, and we're gonna come back and talk more to our friends Alvin and Shawnee Richardson and Nicole Richardson, right?
Right.
And your wife's name is Nicole?
Yes, that's right.
And Nicole Richardson, because I know she's there. I'm like, what about me? No. And we're gonna talk more to the folks, our family down in Houston, the cadenceproject.com, thecadenceproject.com. And when we come back, we're gonna give you all the information on how to get in touch with them. If you want to help, these are folks that I know, I trust, they're hands-on, and you can log on to their Instagram at Cadence Project on Instagram and look at what they're doing, some of the amazing things they're doing down there. And they're helping some, like I said, they're helping some families directly. And we'll be right back and talk more to the Cadence Project. After this, let's get with some more music, a little DeBarge. All This Love right here on LARadioNow.com, the Troy Rawlings Morning Show. KNOW, Los Angeles, California. You're tuned into the Troy Rawlings Morning Show. Got a lot going on this morning. I was trying to take a day off, but we got work to do down in Houston, y'all. We got work to do. We're talking to our friends down in Houston, thecadenceproject.com. Go to thecadenceproject.com. We got Alvin, Nicole, and Shawnee Richardson on the phone. They're going to sing a little song. No, I'm just messing with you. The 3 degrees. Who do you want? No, I'm sorry. Yeah. People don't really realize I guess they can. I talked to a friend of mine, Leslie Lacey, down there in Houston, and she, like you guys, she was like, Troy, I'm fine. I'm stuck in the house, but I'm fine. She said, but what you see on the news, it's worse than that. And so can you kind of describe as best possible the devastation, the magnitude of what's going on in Houston?
Yeah, one of the things that has remained true about this situation is that people are saying over and over again when they look on the news coverage, they can't believe what they're seeing. And even though we live right here, we're looking on the news to neighborhoods we haven't even been to yet, nothing really hits you like seeing it in person. Right. And it's one thing to say there was catastrophic flooding and that people are losing everything, but to actually drive into a neighborhood that used to be a really nice, beautiful neighborhood, and it has instantly been turned into a landfill. Everybody's wet, damaged, and ruined items are out on the curb, just waiting for the city to come and pick things up.
Jesus.
And we're not talking about one or two houses. We're talking about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 houses at a time. As far as you can drive through a neighborhood, it's all completely decimated. Furniture and beds and clothing, and it wasn't just rainwater, because the water rose so high that even what was in the sewers began to come up.
Jesus.
And so when you're driving into these neighborhoods, as soon as you step out of the car to go and see about somebody, you smell the sewage, because it wasn't fresh rainwater that their things in their house were soaked in. It was water mixed with sewage, mixed with oil and chemicals. Some of the people who had to wade through water for long distances came out with blisters on their skin. And all of these people, more than 100,000 families who were instantly looking for shelter and looking for a place to live, the majority of these people didn't have any flood insurance, because they were in neighborhoods where the elevation was high enough that you would never expect that flooding was going to be an issue. There are people who are living far enough away from any water that there was really no reason to consider getting flood insurance.
Wow.
So now you have people who are trying to rebuild their lives, replace all of their furniture, their clothes, reconstruct their homes, and we haven't even talked about their cars yet. There are neighborhoods where we were asking how high did the water go, and they pointed to a stop sign, and they said, yeah, right there to the bottom of that stop sign is how high the water was. And then you look up the street, and you realize that all of the cars you see parked, all of those cars are totaled.
Right.
So families who had 2 and 3 cars, now all the cars are gone. You have to replace your clothes, your cars, rebuild your house, all your pots and pans. Just losing everything really means losing everything, and that's what we're facing, a long recovery and rebuilding process to the tune of billions and billions and billions of dollars. Just to give you some perspective, we even have about 10,000 students who are now going to have to go to a different school because their schools were decimated, and it'll take more than a year just to have the schools inhabitable again. So it's really hard to imagine the full picture of the devastation, but Houston is in for a long haul of rebuilding and recovering that it's going to be going on long after the news cycle is done.
Right.
There's a lot of work to be done.
Right. I've been heavy in telling people, we in this day and age of social media and everything, we focus on the wrong things so quickly. And when everything hit about Joel Osteen, I was like, so what are they saying? I look at the video and I was like, hold up. There wasn't a line around Joel Osteen's church. This was one guy that was trying to get into a church. And I said, I'm from Baltimore. If I go to my church back in Baltimore, the door is locked and left. I got an appointment to go into the office. So I get it.
Right.
I said, but for the way that people rag down on Joel Osteen, and then within 4 days, he opens up and he's giving all this stuff away. I'm like, why are we spending so much time ridiculing instead of finding out how we can help? We're not really paying attention to all of what's going on in Houston. Like, it was so much, he got so much press for the fact that people thought he wasn't, that, you know, I don't know what it is to, I have no idea what it is to have a building that can hold 20,000 people and what it takes to operate that, let alone the fact that, like he said, his niece was across the street and they couldn't get to anybody. Like, I think people don't understand. And Joel, and you know, it's hard to fluster Joel Osteen. He smiles about everything. You smack him in the face like, look, I know you smacked me, but it's just, you know, brother. You know, so when I saw him on the news thing, he was like, you know, and he was like, look, I'm gonna say it nicely. I'm gonna be nice, but if y'all not here, shut up. You know,
right?
So,
I actually know people who are currently on the staff there. I know people who have been formerly on the staff there, And one of the things that made us and several other Houstonians so angry about that, and people's willingness to misinform people by spreading bad information and lies, is the fact that it was just a distraction from what really needs to be done.
Oh my God. Every news channel had him interviewed.
Yeah. Those stories were completely inaccurate. Lakewood is one of the best in this community at responding to things. And there were things that people just didn't take into consideration, like it's so large. How many people do you think it takes to serve just 1,000 folks? If it's just 1,000 people, how much staff do you need to safely administer help to those people? And a lot of the people that were on his staff were in situations where they could not get out of their neighborhoods into the church. You can't just simply have one beacon go to the Compact Center, which is where the Rockets used to play.
Right, and they said in 2001, they got flooded there, and they had to build flood walls. They said the flood, people don't realize, like you said, the bottom of the stop sign. He said, because he did a whole thing in the Sunday service. He said, guys, we had to put up flood walls because we heard in 2001 there was a flood here that flooded the Compact Center. So we put up flood walls 5 feet tall. He said if the water had got any higher, everything would have been flooded. And you saw the water.
It was just a distraction, and that's what has frustrated us so much, to say, hey, we have plenty of work to do. All of these folks that are on social media spouting opinions about a place where they don't live and about a great ministry that they know nothing about, redirect your efforts into actually helping somebody. The people who were the most vocal, I doubt very seriously that most of those people donated a dime or spent any time thinking about how they could help. They spent a lot of time and energy running somebody down. And we're here to say we have options for you to redirect that energy into actually helping real people and real families to put their lives back together.
Yes. So let's do this. Let's do this now. Let's get a phone number. We'll get the website, get the email address, and also find out the best. And I guess, do you guys have how's the postal service? I don't even know how the postal service is down there right now. Can people mail stuff down there, or how does that work?
It's spotty. I think the best way to do this is to first of all say the first stop to be able to donate and help. If you're a person that just says, I would just like to go somewhere and just click a button and donate right now because I'm moved to do so, you can go to www.thecadenceproject.com. And it's real simple. The website comes up. You see a bright blue button. You can click on it and instantly make a donation if that's what works best for you. If you're a person that is a little bit less with technology and you just want to be able to send an email and ask questions and get some information that way with direct correspondence, you can email us at info@thecadenceproject.com. info@thecadenceproject.com. And then lastly, if you're not a computer person at all and you just need to be able to call and talk to somebody,
if you are a Flintstone,
if you want to call and talk to somebody and ask some specific questions, then you can call us at 281-673-6872. That's 281-673-6872. And then we'll be able to, if you leave a message or if you catch one of us directly, we'll be able to answer any of your questions. And then, of course, you have Facebook pages where you can drop us messages there too. It's facebook.com/The Cadence Project. And we also have an Instagram, which is @Cadence Project. So there's several different ways to get in touch with us. In addition to that, Shawnee Richardson Creative has an Instagram and a Facebook page as well. And any help and any information, anything that you have, we're partnering together just to make this work. Even if it's one family at a time, we're trying to help these families put things back together.
That's right. So all the information you have, thecadenceproject.com. Thecadenceproject.com. The number, they're right in Houston and they're doing amazing work. The phone number to get in touch with them is 281-673-6872. That's 281-673-6872. Also, the email address is info@thecadenceproject.com. info@thecadenceproject.com. You can find them on Facebook, The Cadence Project, or on Instagram at Cadence Project. Cadence Project on Instagram. Alvin, Shawnee, Nicole, thank you guys so much for calling in.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Troy, and thank you for your support and your contribution already. Thank you for kind of putting your money where your mouth is. We appreciate it, sir.
I ain't got much, but what I had, it was just because I was asking, and it felt good to be able to ask certain folks in Houston, like, what can I do? Anything I can do, find out a way to do, But the one thing that we all have is resources. We all have resources, and everybody is. I was talking to a pastor the other day, and they were like, I don't want to give to Red Cross because they did A, B, C, and D, and I don't know where it's going. And I was like, hey, I got some folks. So I'm gonna continue to put this out. I'm gonna continue to, and I know you guys are just one piece, but I know you guys. I mean, to be able to know somebody that's doing an effort down there, and I can vouch for, it means everything. It means everything. And y'all leave Joe Osteen alone. He handling his business. Y'all gonna mess around and see the real Joe Osteen in a minute. Y'all keep messing with him.
Right. Leave our folks alone. We got enough to do down here.
They got enough to do in Houston. Let's just send our.
And Troy, we are partnering also with some other good organizations. So, as much as we get coming in, we're just kind of spreading it out. There are some other organizations that are doing some amazing things, and I'm out today with One Embrace. They're doing a Backpack for Hope drive because a lot of these back to school drives have already taken place. Our kids had started out going to school, and then the flood. So then all of those supplies that were given out, they were lost as well. So we're out today helping another organization to just raise as much as we can. It doesn't matter who's getting credit. We're just trying to get it done. So as we're donating, we're also partnering with other organizations. I know Grace Church in Humble is doing amazing things, turning their into a shelter and just feeding and clothing. And I mean, they're reaching more people than we possibly could. So we're also funneling into these organizations that we know are giving direct help to families.
Right. Now, what are you guys? What are the construction companies doing? Home Depot, any places like that? Are they? What are they able to do? Because I don't know how damaged their stuff is or what they're looking. I could imagine how many building projects are about to start going on just to build, even just makeshift homes and shelters and.
I can address that directly, Troy. As for Home Depot and Lowe's and Walmart and Target, those stores that did not get flooded, and there were so many that did, that were literally underwater from their ceilings down. Those stores that did not get damaged, they are making drops. They are partnering with several of the other organizations that we are partnering with to make sure that these clean and dry warehouses are being supplied with building supplies, with water, with dehumidifiers and fans. This is a large undertaking, and it's going to take more than just the Cadence Project and just Shawnee Richardson Creative. It's going to take some of the larger organizations and structures to get this going. We are currently, to be honest, in this phase of rebuilding Houston. We are at the place of tearing things out and removing things and salvaging things. We are not yet quite at the place of literally rebuilding because we are still actively trying to rescue people who are still getting flooded. The flooding has not stopped. The rain has stopped, which we are so grateful for. But because of the onslaught of rain and flood water, we have had to release dams and reservoirs and levees, and that's causing even more flooding to happen. So every organization, surprisingly, we're all coming together as one, as human beings, trying to take care of one another as best as we can. One family at a time, one neighborhood at a time, one group of people at a time. We're just doing it as much as we can. But if you keep your mind on the fact that all people got affected. It wasn't just homes, it was businesses. Some people woke up to their house being gone and their stuff being gone and their stars being flooded. But they also woke up to their businesses being gone, their jobs no longer being available. So it is widespread and affecting all of Houston. And Houston being the fourth largest city in the United States, you can only imagine just the devastation and the long-term ramifications of this once-in-a-lifetime storm that we just went through. So we're trying to do our best. We secured a dry storage unit that could house things from families that we've been able to salvage. It can house donations that we're taking in, from socks and shoes to water and food, blankets
so much,
and toiletries.
That alone, when I saw that, it's so much you don't think about until you're in survival mode. And something as simple as a dry storage unit. When I saw that, I was like, that's genius, because people that get stuff, where are you going to put it if you don't have a home?
Exactly. And to also just to bring it clearer to your listeners, homes there's not a lot of security in a home that has been flooded out. Doors are swollen and we can't open them and we can't shut them. Windows are broken. It is just It is almost like walking through a landfill in a war zone when you look at neighborhoods, hundreds of thousands of houses in the neighborhood, and people are concerned about what they can keep. So we're offering them a place to keep that stuff also, so that they don't have to worry if overnight someone's going to come in and loot and take their things. This is just very widespread and much, much larger than most people can even comprehend, unless you're here with boots on the ground and your eyes to see it. It is mind-boggling and heartbreaking all at the same time. Yet, we still have a hope and a faith to believe that we will conquer this thing. We will come out ahead of this thing, stronger and better for it. Houston is coming together like never before. We're finding people from various walks of life, from various religious backgrounds, from various socioeconomic status and classes, coming together and saying, what can we do to make sure that we don't repeat the failures of our past? We need to come together as people and say, I'm going to lift you up while you lift me up. And that has been one of the most beautiful things that we have witnessed. And it doesn't necessarily translate well in social media, but I guarantee you, when you drive down a neighborhood and you pop open your trunk and you say, I have some cold water for you, I have a loaf of bread, I have a toothbrush and a toothpaste, your heart is overwhelmed by the response of the people who have lost everything, who want to defer and say, no, I lost everything, but she lost even more than me. Can you go down the street and give it to her? So I want to give as much clarity as I can to what it is that we are doing and what so many other people are doing in Houston to make sure that we survive this thing and survive it with great hope and great victory, and we come together as humans just saying, what can we do? So we really, really appreciate, Troy, what you're doing and how you're supporting us and how you're giving us just a platform to continue to reach out further than our arms can reach, just to say, whatever you all want to do. Money, gift cards, school supplies, toiletries, we are willing and able to take it. We have an infrastructure that can handle it so that we can impact our city.
We'll get it done. We'll get it done. Once again, y'all, this is awesome. TheCadenceProject.com. TheCadenceProject.com. Their phone number is 281-673-6872. That's 281-673-6872. So you can talk to Nicole and Alvin, as well as Shawnee Richardson and Shawnee Richardson Creatives.
Yeah, that's it.
On Instagram. And thecadenceproject.com. You can email them at info@thecadenceproject.com, info@thecadenceproject.com for more information. I give the phone number and email especially so you can really talk to them, get their hearts, see exactly what's needed. Because some people are going to do more than you. And I just believe and I trust and I pray. There are some people listening now. There are some millionaires listening now. There's some people right now that want to know how to, athletes, business owners, they want to know what they can do. And they're going to be reaching out to you guys. So it's going to be great because you'll be able to give them a firsthand of what exactly, like you just told. And we're going to podcast this on our YouTube page as well and send the link out to people at LA Radio Now on YouTube and make sure we're pushing this. And you know, let's set our minds to the point that it's going to take 5 years to help Houston, and then we can do a better effort. You know, see, because most people are thinking, 5 days after the news coverage and it just passed on. But let me give you this also. There are people that lived in Houston that were refugees and left Louisiana for Katrina. And there was a guy that mentioned, he was like, I never thought I would go through it again. And the guy was like, and the newscaster was like, what do you mean? He's like, I was from New Orleans. And the guy just stopped the whole interview. He was just like, and the dude was, his composure was there. It was like, But man, we praying for y'all. God bless you guys. Thank you guys for taking time to just talk to me and do this today. And like I said, we'll push this. We'll just keep pushing it. I don't know how. I don't know. Something like this occurs, and you guys have really explained very well the magnitude of what is going on, and I think people really can't imagine that. We had a fire here in Burbank and in the hills that was coming down. It was coming downhill, and people were like, "Oh my God, how close are you?" I was like, "Well, if it comes downhill, they can stop it. It's the folks that live in the hills." So the fact that you're in Houston and flooding is one thing coming from the top down, whole another thing coming from the bottom up. Your house is built on the bottom, So thank you, Cadence Project. TheCadenceProject.com. Support. You have no excuse, folks, because a lot of folks are just making excuses because you don't know where the money is going. You know where this is going, and you can watch what they're doing live on Instagram and stuff like that. They've been posting what they've been doing, and the families they've been helping. And they started helping families before there was any money or any donation button. So you can look at that too. So thank you guys so much.
Our pleasure. Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Oh, most definitely. We're going to keep this thing moving. We're going to keep it moving. We're going to keep it growing. And we're going to give it a little bit more music and get some more information to you guys and see how many. I know some people were hitting me up. So I'm going to start spreading and repost. If you go on Instagram at LA Radio Now, please repost all the information about the Cadence Project and the efforts that are going on in Houston. All right. We'll talk to y'all in a bit. Alvin, Nicole, Shawnee, thank you guys so much.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
You're listening to the Troy Rawlings Morning Show. Let's give it a little bit more music. Love is the message. We're sending love out to all the folks in Houston, all the places devastated by Hurricane Harvey. Right here on LARadioNow.com. You're listening to the Troy Rawlings Morning Show. Hey everybody, this is Troy Rawlings of the Troy Rawlings Morning Show. I just want to say thank you for listening to LARadioNow.com. And don't forget to tune into the Troy Rawlings Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 12 noon Pacific. That's right, it's the Troy Rawlings Morning Show for love, laughs, talk, and classic jams. Right here on LARadioNow.com.